So, do you ever feel like everything is coming at you all at once and you have no idea what you need to do first and what you could do later? And then at the end of the day, you just feel overwhelmed by it all? I am going to teach you a strategy in the next 10 minutes, which is going to totally change how you look at to-do lists. In fact, I would say you don't have to use a to-do list ever again. So, hey, I am JoAnn Crone. I'm the founder of No Guilt Mom. And if you haven't met me yet, hi, hello. I have the No Guilt Mom podcast with my wonderful co-host, Bree Tucker. I've written 2 books, one drama-free homework for adults and one Me and My Friendships for kids. I've been on media, national TV, and my mission in life is to help moms go from feeling like the martyr in their home to being the role model, to living that fulfilled life that they dream of, and that also is a great example to their kids and shows their kids how to live as well. I also run the Balance VIP membership program for moms and the upcoming Happy Mom Summit, which is in March, and that's a free event for parents. Let's get into this, because this to-do list thing, this plagues so many people. It plagued me as well. I would write these to-do lists at the beginning of the day, and I had all of these great intentions. And then at the end of the day, I looked at the to-do list, nothing had gotten done. My attention was drawn somewhere else during the day. I thought something else was important, and this would be fine, but I always forgot things. I wouldn't progress toward my goals, or I would be late turning things in or on projects for work because I just had no idea how to prioritize. I felt like a complete failure. I didn't know what I was doing wrong, and things would kept getting added to my to-do list, or I would forget something and I'd have to rush last minute to get it done. Do you know that feeling? Or like kid stuff would come up. Like my daughter would come out of nowhere and be like, "Oh yeah, mom, there's like a class event at school that all the other parents are coming to." And so I just ended up feeling I had no control over my schedule. Do you feel that way right now? Or if you even make the effort to plan, you don't want to do this stuff you have planned. Am I right? Okay. If so, keep watching because I have something to help you out. Now, I tried the traditional planning methods, but like I said before, sometimes when I planned, I didn't even want to do the thing I had planned for that time. I have ADHD diagnosed, and that is actually a symptom. Like, you cannot get me to focus on something that I do not find inherently interesting at that time. Plus, as moms, as parents, as people, our energy levels change throughout the day. And sometimes we might find that we have a task to do that we just don't have the energy to do at that time. And we find that task takes us hours, where if we could just move the task, it might take us 30 minutes. But the traditional planning methods didn't allow that to happen. So I was looking through YouTube one day and I found this strategy for entrepreneurs with ADHD, which I am. And it changed my entire planning system. When I saw this, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense and it works with my brain so well. And I was actually getting more done than ever before, because one of the things about being a parent or being a person is that you have to manage yourself, but you also have to manage all the lives around you. And that could really, really be hard. You have to deal with things on the fly, things that come up unexpected, a kid who's sick home from school. So it becomes really difficult to stick to a set schedule when you have other people depending on you. So this strategy, it has 3 steps. You ready for them? The first one's a brain dump, which you probably have heard of before. This won't be anything new. We'll just kind of finesse it a little bit. The second is going to be to categorize, and I'm going to give you some specific categories to use. It is called rainbow planning for a reason, and I think you're really going to love it. And then plan it. This is where we put it physically on our digital calendar. And I suggest a digital calendar just so you can put some things on repeat and you can easily move things around just by a click and a drag. So let's talk about brain dumping. This is our time blocking sheet we use in our Balance VIP community every week. And you can see right here, there's a little spot for brain dump. When you brain dump, you get everything out of your head that you want to get done in the next week. You take care of everything swimming around and just put it out on paper. Now you can see right above this brain dump, you have spaces for my BHAG, which is big, hairy, audacious goal, and core values. These are going to come into play when we categorize and when we put it on our planner. So don't worry, I'm going to talk about this. So let's do our brain dump. We put a timer on for 5 minutes, get everything out of our head, and it comes out looking something like this. All of these ideas and things we want to get done, whether it's for work, whether it's for family, it's best if you don't separate your worlds. So I don't want you to do this for family and then do this for work. I want you to combine it all together. You are one person. You only have to do this once, okay? Got it? Got it. Now, after we brain dump and get everything on paper, we're going to categorize. And these are the categories right down here. And it's rainbow order. So here's what I mean. Red is appointments. Red means like, stop. You can't move this because it is with somebody else. And that is going to be incredibly hard to reschedule if you move it. B are bottlenecks. I also put this in a really bright color. Bottlenecks are something that need to get done. If you don't get it done in the time that you say you will, it's going to hold somebody else up. So it's good to be alerted to those things on your calendar. That way you know that someone else isn't waiting for your work. Really helpful in the work situation as well as at home too. C is critical. What that means is that it aligns to your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal. It's something that if you don't do that, you're going to be behind achieving that goal. Or it's something that aligns with your core values. And that's why I had those listed right up above there. D is your daily routine. These are the things that we want to put on repeat on our calendar so that every week we do not have to enter these in. They just appear at the same time. We do them or we don't do them. And if we don't do them, we look back at the previous week, see how it went, and reassess from there. That's more in depth though. F is the flexible ideal. These are things that pop up, or they're things that you can put on your calendar that you know you can move. You can move them anywhere and it won't affect anybody else's work, or it won't affect you achieving your own goals. And as you see, it forms a little rainbow right there, A through F. And I'll show you how that works a little bit later. So now we get to categorize, and this is where we take everything off of our brain dump section and put it into categories. Now, I usually would cross all these out. They're not crossed out on this slide, but let me explain exactly why I categorize things the way I did. So this appointment section, these are only appointments that you have yet to set up. So if it's already on your calendar, you don't need to brain dump it. It's already there. But like say register Sid for piano, that would be an appointment that you need to set up. That would then be hard to move. The B, the bottlenecks, these are both work things that I put on there. A page for the Happy Mom Summit and writing a draft of an email newsletter. If I don't get those done by a certain time, my team can't take over from there. So it's a definite bottleneck. C, that critical, remember I told you it was directly related to your BHAG or your core values. So say my BHAG was to write a new book. My critical from that brain dump would be brainstorm a map of ideas. I put that in critical because if I don't do it, it's going to hold up my progress on writing that new book. Now go hiking somewhere. This is something that aligns to my core values. One of my core values is adventure. And so when I go hiking, I am living my truest, most authentic self and going on this adventure somewhere. So it is critical to me that I do that, and I put it as critical on my calendar. And then the daily routine. Now, when you're first starting time blocking, you're not going to have anything on your daily routine. So this first time blocking session with rainbow planning is when you start to set them up. And these tasks, the meal plan, the laundry, the workout, we can easily put that on repeat to repeat each week so that we don't have to waste our brain energy on when we're going to do it. It's just automatically slotted for that time every week on our calendar. And then F, the flexible ideal, I had to put this down here, pay state taxes. They don't need my money right away. They gave me a deadline for a reason, well within the deadline already. Now, if it was something where the deadline was that week, I would probably be putting that in a bottleneck because I would think in my head, that is a bottleneck because if I don't pay that, I'm going to have to pay more in late phase. So just know that if you don't get something done that week, you can always move it to the next week and it may change categories then. Now that I have everything categorized, I need to plan it. And I really wanted to shout out to OneThrive here because you're going to see how I plan in my digital calendar. And I want to say that we use our OneThrive command center as the family communication device. So anything that affects the family on my digital calendar, I put on my OneThrive command center so that my kids and my husband know what's going on and they could see exactly like what we have planned as a family. My own personal stuff though does not go on there. It goes right here. This is an example of my calendar from a week. It is not the particular one that I just brain dumped, but let me go through and explain what there is. So right up here, these are my daily routines. I have walk the dog and exercise. I like using little emojis because that's fun. Happens every morning, 6 a.m. And then 7 a.m. is a journal writing time. Right here, you could see the reds. The reds are things that, remember, I can't move. It tells me, stop. You have to do these things. They're with other people. You can't move them, JoAnn. And that helps me when I'm planning the rest of my schedule. The pinks, the bottlenecks, are things that, remember, if I don't get them done, it holds up something else from being done. So I had to plan a presentation right here. I had to write a newsletter and a podcast rundown. So those were pink. The yellow is critical. One of my big, hairy, audacious goals is just to grow my company. And so all of these things were the necessary tasks I needed to do to grow my company. And then there was no flexible ideal dates on this one. But if a flexible ideal was going to go in, say something like came on Wednesday and I wanted to do it on Thursday, I would just put that right in my calendar and I would color it purple on my flexible ideal calendar. And that is how you do rainbow planning. Now, I have something special for you to help you out. I want to give you this time blocking sheet that you saw me use throughout the video. To get it, go to balanceformoms.com/plan, and I will email it to you, and you can get started on your own time blocking and rainbow planning right away. Thank you to OneThrive for putting this summit together, and I can't wait to hear about how your rainbow planning goes. Remember, the best mom's a happy mom. Take care of you. I'll talk to you later.